guys? Welcome back to Life from the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Wednesday. I believe this is going to come out on a Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Hopefully the coronavirus has kind of subsided, but this time maybe not. But I hope you guys are having a good quarantine life. That is why we're bringing you these videos this week. So I hope you're enjoying our content as you are locked inside. Today, what we're going to be doing is going over another one of the pieces from our favorite watch company. The watch company is named MB&F, and we will be going over the HM7 or Horological Machine number 7. We've gone over a lot of their other horological machines. MB&F is one of our favorite watch companies. They're an independent watch company that make really unique pieces, and they really do speak to us they speak to me as a collector. So what I'm going to be doing is going over HM7 to give you an idea of the watch. Just before we get started into this, I do not have the watch with us, but I'll be sure to put up enough pictures and images, pictures and videos so you can actually see the watch and see what we're describing. So just full disclosure there. Also, I say every single video, if you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button first. It really does help us out. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like these types of videos. So the HM7 was the first aquatic-inspired watch that MB&F has released. It was released in January 2017. I believe it was at SIHH. And it was the nickname of the HM7 is the Aquapod. So like I said, it's the first aquatic inspired MB&F watch. The watch is inspired by a jellyfish, which you can actually probably see quite prominently from at least the video, the thumbnail of this video, but also the video that you're probably seeing right now over me talking. It's inspired by the jellyfish, and Max Büsser really takes a lot of his inspiration from things that happen in his life. And he actually had quite a tough encounter with a jellyfish, which he describes as the inspiration behind this watch. The watch features, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, it features a 60-second flying tourbillon on the top of the watch, which Max describes as the brain of the jellyfish underneath the sapphire dome, sapphire crystal dome. The watch is made up of 303 parts. It has some time. The time indication is around the dome of the watch, essentially the movement, and the dome's kind of look is what the case shape is like. It's very similar to a jellyfish. It glows in the dark, which is really cool, and it has this interesting bezel around the outside that's essentially floating, and it's a unidirectional bezel that also glows in the dark. So the things that glows in the dark are the hours and minutes numerals, which you can see around the dome, as well as the inside of the movement. And if you turn it over, you see this winding rotor, which also glows in the dark. If you look at the case comes in a couple different metals. The first metal is grade A5 titanium. Then there's 18 karat 5N or red gold case, and there's also a platinum case. The case has a spherical construction, which measures about 54 millimeters in diameter, which is a rather large watch when you think about it. I'm currently wearing this memo sail, which is essentially a perfectly round watch, and 44 millimeters is already pretty large, but this watch is 54 millimeters, so on the larger side for sure. Moving into the movement of the watch, this watch has a vertical architecture to it, so it's essentially a stacked movement. It's an automatic movement which was developed in-house. Eric Giroux is someone who's been very influential in a lot of the watches that have been created by Max Büsser and friends, and he helped design this watch and bring to life the vision that Max had. The watch, some of the complications that the watch features is the hours, minutes on the rotating discs that I described previously. It also has that unidirectional bezel that looks like almost like the ring of Saturn, which is an interesting look to it. It has two crowns. The one on the left is used to wind the movement, and then the one on the right is the time setting crown. All the glass that you see on the watch is made out of sapphire, and like I said, when you turn it over, you see this winding rotor that looks like the tentacles of a jellyfish, which I think is really awesomely done. They kind of fold in, and it looks really, really cool. Kind of moving into my opinions about this watch. This is a large watch, and I listened to an interview with Max who did bring that to light and say, it is a large watch, but he's seen people with slimmer wrists. He's seen women put this piece on when it was released, and it really got some great reception from those who tried it on and found that it was actually a lot more wearable than a normal 54 millimeter watch is. This is one of the first, I believe it was one of the first horological machines that was actually round. I know that within the Legacy Machine line, which is a little bit more classic watchmaking, they have made round watches like the Legacy Machine 1, 101, 2, those are all round watches. But this is the first horological machine that's actually round, which I think everyone likes, and I have a feeling that's why why the watch got some great reception. I also really love the backstory, the fact that Max had an encounter with a jellyfish, and that's what really sparked his imagination to create a watch that played on those elements, those design elements, which I thought was really cool. I also like the fact that there are many versions of it. There's a really interesting red version of it. There's a blue, I believe a blue, and then like almost like a St. Patrick's Day green, I believe. I'll be sure to put up pictures if I can find those. I like the fact that there are a lot of versions of it. If I stack it up against the other horological machines that have been created, this would probably be a lot higher on the list. I really like the design elements. I do like the fact that it's actually quite a simple watch. You really are only getting the time, and then you get a bezel, which essentially it's just the time and the bezel. It does play on the fact that there is a tourbillon right in the center of the watch, which does add some element of complication to it, but at the end of the day, it's probably just a very accurate, it assists in the accuracy of the time. So I like the fact that the complications are quite simple, but the design is really what stands out. I think that's something that MB&F really tries to do a lot more of, is create watches that are focused a lot more on the design. I know Max says, these are not watches, they're horological pieces of art. So, I for sure feel the jellyfish inspiration coming through when you look at this watch initially. And I remember that being my first thought when I looked at this watch when it was released, and I could really tell that it was taking inspiration from the jellyfish. So I also like the fact that it glows in the dark. The glowing in the dark kind of meshes well with the inspiration from the jellyfish, and is also just a really cool feature. So this stacks pretty highly on my horological machine list. I will say I do enjoy the HM4, which is I think a really cool piece as well. But this is quite high on my list. If I personally would look at it, I'm still a Legacy Machine person. I really like the Legacy Machine line, so perhaps would lean a little bit more towards that. But a really cool piece, and if you haven't seen this in the flesh, go to one of the Mad Galleries so you can see it, or find a watchmaker that has one, because it's a really beautiful piece. 54 millimeters is large, but I think you can make it work, especially from the reception that a lot of people have described it as. So I hope you enjoyed this video about HM7. If you want to see the horological machines 1 to 6, we have created videos about those. There will be a playlist with all of the videos that we've made about the horological machines or MB&F's watches, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you do like videos about watches, we create videos about watches. A lot of it has to do with educational purposes, but we also like to give our opinions about, nice dress watches that you can look at, and vintage watches that we think are very interesting, and some of the new releases that have come out of watch companies. So we also have a video about how the coronavirus is going to affect Swiss watchmaking. We talk about Swiss watch exports. If you like those types of videos, be sure to check out our channel. And while you're there, and if you haven't done it when I said in the beginning of the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out, and you'll get notified if you hit the bell icon when we upload, so you might as well do that. Also, don't forget to smash the like button. And a quick note, we are going to be discussing another horological machine on Friday. This is a new release from MB&F. You probably have already seen it on Instagram and Facebook. We're going to give you our 2 cents about it and react to one of the videos that was released with the release of this watch. So stay tuned for that if you're looking for that from us, because I'm sure we're going to get a lot of messages about that piece. I'll be sure to put it in the I'll be sure to let you guys know on all our social medias that we have released that video. If you don't follow us on our social medias, be sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, we're on TikTok. We are having a lot of fun over there on TikTok, so be sure to check that out. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.